I'm on here a minute early, guys, just to get going, make sure I'm live in the right place. I'm gonna check my computer and make sure. Nothing like accidentally going live on your wall when you are supposed to be in an event or group. Awesome. Okay. Well, hopefully this will be uninterrupted. I've got one kid down for a nap, 3 gone, and 1 who is reading quietly. Who is supposed to be napping but is not. So it's very possible this may be interrupted, but hopefully not. When you get on, just give a shout, and if you're watching the replay later, then feel free to hashtag replay and ask your questions. I've got a series of topics I want to touch on this morning. All the other topics, that we've been doing in this 2-week training series have been, we've been able to flesh them out a little more because most of them are geared around home parties. So we did, the home parties, hostess coaching, and basics of a home party, and we're going to do recruiting, and that's, going to be geared around a lot of home party stuff. But with Facebook parties and squee parties tomorrow, we kind of are packing in everything related to these in that time. So I can tell you right now, we're going to be longer than 20 minutes. Hey, Haley. Hi, Kelly. Because not only are we talking about different ways you can do Facebook parties, but we're going to be talking about hostess coaching with Facebook parties and sales with Facebook parties and how to order with Facebook parties and recruiting and getting bookings and prizes and all those things. So this is going to be more in-depth than most of the other trainings, and I think the same will be true probably for tomorrow's squee training, just because we've got this topic, but there are so many other parts that kind of go into this. And if you're not already RSVP'd, tonight I'm doing a demo party here in this group, and you can hang out and participate as a guest. You can hang out and ask questions as a consultant, but you'll get the most out of it if you're online during the time. It's actually kind of late for most of my East Coast people. I'm East Coast, but I have another party I'm doing before then, so 10 p.m. Eastern it is, which is 9 p.m. Central. So, on that note, I do most of my parties at 8 p.m. in my hostess's time zone, unless there is something that comes up with a hostess and for some reason we decide to switch the time. 8 p.m. is the set time that I do. So if I have a central hostess, then I do 8 p.m. for her, which is 9 p.m. for me. If I have a New Mexico hostess who's on Mountain Time, I do 8 p.m. for her, 10 p.m. for me. The exception to that is West Coast people. I have them do the party at 7 their time because 10 p.m. is about my limit for being coherent for a party. I'm a night owl, but I'm not a night owl that much. So, tonight's party is not going to be, it's not indicative of when I normally do my parties, but it'll work for the demo. Hey, Miranda. Hi, Catherine. Hey, guys. Okay, so we have so much material to cover today. I'm going to move quickly. Please ask questions if something comes up. If your question ties in with what I'm talking about, I'll answer it then. Otherwise, I will make sure to go back through before I finish up and catch any questions that I've missed. So this is our live time. I'm on here. This is a great way to ask questions and get some on-the-spot answers. So first off, let me just say briefly, when I got started 4 years ago, and at the time, didn't know anyone else doing Facebook parties, hadn't heard of anyone else doing Facebook parties, talked to my upline, she said nobody does Facebook parties, they're not worthwhile, don't do it. Home parties is where it's at. Home parties just weren't working for me. I had 3 kids under the age of 4, and I was full-time responsible for 2 others, same ages, and I just could not make home parties work with my responsibilities and with my husband's work schedule. So I thought, the worst that can happen is I try Facebook parties and decide they just don't work, but I really, really need them to work. So I I had the experience of having attended one Jamberry Facebook party for a friend online to have any kind of idea what a Facebook party could possibly look like. And so that's a different company, different consultant, different product, different everything. And obviously we know there can be many, many different ways of doing a party. So what I ended up doing was I sat down and got my computer out and decided to type up a script as if I was sitting in a coffee shop with a friend, and the friend said, "Tell me about this Norwex thing. What's the deal? What do I need to know?" So my script basically was starting with a problem. Why do you need Norwex in the first place? That may be obvious to us, but to someone, I mean, most people don't even know there's a problem, let alone what problem Norwex solves. So I started with that. Why do we need Norwex? What need does Norwex meet? And then I went into talking about Norwex as a company and what sets our microfiber apart, and then into specific products and care and use, and something about hosting, and something about the opportunity, and that's it. And I ended up with a ginormous script that, you know, I didn't pick any packages to talk about. I just talked about all these products that I loved. So it was kind of verbal vomit with way too many things that I was talking about. Well, I asked a group of friends if any of them would be interested in coming to a Facebook party of mine, because I needed some feedback. I needed some honest opinions of what made sense, what worked, what didn't, how things flowed. And I had about 6 friends who were like, "Okay, you know, I'll check that out for you." So I did it. I didn't know what timing to do. I didn't know, you know, how often should I be posting. None of that. And this was before Facebook Live was an option. So my party was all post based. That party, hey Tiffany, hi Catherine. That party that is what launched my business. I didn't have great sales. That's not really what I was going for. I just wanted to see what could this possibly look like. But I offered a dusting mitt for anyone who hosted off of it, and one of my friends hosted. Interestingly enough, when we did her party, I think we just barely got to the 325 level, which was the base level at the time, and I got 1 booking off of her party. Hi, Catherine. And I worked my tail off. I didn't know what I was doing yet. Well, last summer, she contacted me and asked if we could do another party. And I've kept a steady stream of parties off of that one party that booked off of hers. I've kept that for the last 3 years. So she contacted me last summer and asked about doing another party on Facebook. And I said, yes! So we did her party. And whereas her first one, we just barely made the 325 and 1 booking. And that was tough. This party was $1,400 in sales, 7 bookings, and 1 new consultant from it. So it just felt awesome to come full circle with, you know, that looking back on those early days of trying to figure out what can a Facebook party look like to, whoa, this is it. This works. This is awesome. So I want to talk about parties, you know, just the basics here, and going over how to do some of them. Now, I have a very, very different style than many other consultants do, and I'm a firm believer that it does not matter what style or format party you do, so long as you do it well. Okay? And that may sound obvious, but you know, people ask all the time. They're like, well, do I do parties in groups or events? Do I do a 1-week party, a 1-night party? Do I go live? What do I do? You know what? Amazing consultants have great success with all of these. The key is learning what you need to do to make each one successful, because all of them can be successful. There are so many ways for your own creativity and your own ideas and your own experience and smarts to come through with your Facebook party. So I'm not going to talk to you and say, this is the only way to do a Facebook party. I am going to share some best business practices that you can incorporate across the board, no matter what style you do. My parties are very information heavy. I want my guests to be equipped to understand the products, to understand the problem, to understand how Norwex meets that need, and I want them to understand how to use the products comfortably. I cannot tell you the number of people that come up to me after a party, message me after a party and say, you know, they attended a really flashy Norwex party once upon a time a few years ago and they bought stuff and they've never used it because they had no idea what they were doing. And I don't want my customers to walk away feeling like, oh, I spent all that money. What did I spend that money on? So for me, for my personality, I am very information heavy, which works well because with Norwex, there's a lot of information, okay, people need to know. But you can flex that for yourself, and so we're going to talk about some of the ways to do that. Tonight, okay, I already mentioned I'm doing a demo party tonight in here. You're going to get the most out of it if you're online and participating during the party time, okay? You can see the posts in real time, you can see my hostess coaching notes throughout the time, and it will be less overwhelming than trying to come back through later and reading through it all. After the party, I'm going to share a few resources with you guys. I'm going to post my Facebook party script. I'm going to share my hostess coaching and bookings document, my Facebook party flow, and an album full of graphics that you are welcome to use. I will say, please make sure when you are using my verbiage, when you're using my scripts, any of that, that you tweak and adapt it for yourself, and that you are very careful if you are using my stories or photos, that you reference that they're from another consultant, please. I think Norwex is a fantastic company, and I have been blown away again and again and again by how regular consultants, like all of us, so many consultants model Norwex's motto of integrity, trust, and respect. But I will say, when I first was getting started, I had a lot of consultants I didn't know who asked about shadowing parties because none of us knew anybody else doing them. So I became the go-to person for people shadowing parties. And maybe 6 or 7 months into doing this, I did a party, and I had a guest message me it wasn't even afterward, but it was partway through the party, just livid. She was so ugly, and it took me aback. She was mad because she said that, you know, I was ripping off this other consultant. She couldn't believe that I was sharing these stories and pictures about these kids, and how dare I steal this stuff from another consultant. I was like, what is going on? It turns out a consultant who had shadowed one of my parties had taken all of my stuff word for word and done her own party and passed off my kids as her kids and my stories as her kids as her stories. And so this guest had been to an identical party a few weeks before, which was my script and my stories, but that consultant who used it hadn't said, by the way, you know, here's a story from another consultant or anything like that. So, all that to say, for my own sake, to protect my business, I ask that you please be respectful of that and tweak and adapt stuff so you're not using it word for word. That's good for me, but it's also good for you, because the more Facebook sees that posts are the same and they're seeing the same verbiage crop up over and over and over again by multiple people, the less visibility they will give you, and the more likely you are to be put in Facebook jail because they assume that's spam. So, all that to say, I will post the hostess coaching document and my Facebook script for you to use as a framework, but it's really going to be best for everyone involved for you to jump off of that. Use some of it, tweak it, change it, don't use it word for word, the whole thing. And I won't share any photos of my kids, just because I want whatever I share tonight, I want you guys to be able to use. So when I'm doing my own parties, some of my posts are more kid-focused, but I just prefer that people not share photos of my kids for their own parties. Tiffany, it is really weird. That's kind of crazy. I've got my notes here to make sure I stay on track. Format, you guys, I already mentioned this, but I want to talk about this more. There are so many different ways you can do a Facebook party, and I'm not going to say one of them is better than another. I'm going to go through those and then tell you what I do and why, but there are successful consultants who do all of these really, really well. you'll get to see mine in action tonight. But mine is very different from a lot of consultants. The thing to take away from all of this is two things. One, on average, it takes 6 parties to get comfortable and to problem solve and to figure out how you want to do something. This is part of why I train all of my new consultants to do 6 parties in their first 45 days. Doesn't matter if they want to do, 1 party a quarter after that, 2 parties a month, 12 parties a month. Doesn't matter. We want minimum 6 parties in their first 45 days, because those 6 parties, not only will they reach their first fresh start goals, but those 6 parties are going to get them comfortable, give them the experience they need to be confident and to understand what they're doing. This goes for any kind of party. When you are trying a home party, give yourself 6 parties to learn how to do it. When you are trying a Facebook party, your first Facebook party may be genius, amazing, you have huge sales. It's probably a fluke, okay? Facebook parties are going to take work, and it takes work to get them consistently good so that you don't have ones that are, $1,000 party here, and then your next 8 are $150 parties, and then you have a $750 party here, and then you have all these $200 parties. What I want to do is to help you guys get consistently good parties, and that's going to take on average 6 parties of you working on it and learning to really start feeling comfortable and like, okay, you're getting this. The same thing goes with squee parties, which is going to be talked about tomorrow, and the same thing goes for if you're trying a different style of Facebook parties. So you can do Facebook parties a couple different ways. One, you could do a week-long party. Okay, maybe this lends itself to certain consultants' schedules. Maybe it lends itself to certain consultants' preferences and personality. A week-long party might look like, say you started on Monday, and on Monday you do a couple posts throughout the day where you talk about the problem. What is the problem? What does Norwex answer? What does it help? Then on day 2, what is the day 2? Tuesday, maybe you talk about Norwex itself and backlock and microfiber and just like the basics of Norwex. And then on Wednesday, day 3, you talk about the products in depth, the Safe Haven 5 products. And Thursday, you talk about hosting and the opportunity, and Friday, you do your customer specials and wrap up, do orders, all that, boom, done. Maybe you do a couple week-long parties that run at the same time. Like a party for Sarah starts on Monday and you do it. A party for Leah starts on Monday. A party for Jamie starts on Monday. And with each one, you just post a couple times a day on each theme. Boom, done, Friday, close out. So that would be a week-long party. One-night party is what I do. And I've done these from the start, and I like them. With that, I set up my parties about a week in advance, and I post 1 to 2 times every day leading up to the party night. Then on our party night, which the hostess and I have chosen, I only do parties Monday through Thursday nights, so my Friday through Sundays are for family or whatever else we've got going on. But I do those parties Monday through Thursday nights, and so for a one-night party, we hop on it at our set time, which I usually do 8 p.m. in my hostess's time zone, and then if it's a slow party, like really quiet, there's not a lot of interaction, we're done in 45 minutes max. If it's a really crazy party with people talking and asking questions and all over the place, and I'm back and forth between posting and answering stuff and all of that, then it's going to take an hour. So 45 minutes to an hour is my party time. And what I do the party night is I focus on care and use, the product, hosting, recruiting, close out. And then I set my parties to close out 24 hours after the party itself. Now, do we always actually close out 24 hours? No. But people need a deadline because people always wait to the last minute. Most people wait to the last minute. It is human nature to, why do it now if I can do it later? So I set that 1-day deadline because of that, but also because this is a momentum business, you guys. And as the consultant, it's our job to keep that momentum going. Home parties are awesome. I love them, and there are a lot of perks to them. One of the things with Facebook parties that are very, very different from home parties is when you are Facebook partying, you are going to have to work harder to get your orders in, okay? Because at a home party, you know, think about it. People come together and you do your presentation, you get orders in, people go home, you go home, put your orders in the computer, submit the party, you know, done. But a Facebook party, after the party presentation finishes, people wander away. They get distracted by other tabs. They do other things on their computer. They go to bed, and some of that momentum stops. I think I'm about to be interrupted by my 3-year-old, just so you know. You have to work hard and focus. What, buddy? Not right now. You go read. Come get a mommy snuggle then. Sorry, I knew this was going to happen since he didn't nap. With Facebook parties, the 2 hardest things about Facebook parties that are going to be different than any other party you do, you're going to have to work more intentionally to get guests there, okay? And you're going to have to be more intentional about follow-up. So that momentum the next day with posts and with getting orders in is really, really important. And, you know, maybe we won't close the next day, but most people will still work to get their orders in. And if the hostess needs some flexibility, we have some flexibility to close out, you know, 3 or 4 days later if needed. But I always set that initial time frame at closing out 24 hours after the party. Catherine, so in 4 years of doing that, you guys are actually super, super lucky here because I don't do live videos. My team gets my live videos and nobody else except for you guys. So I don't like videos. I am not really good about on-the-spot talking. I'm very distractible. My brain goes somewhere. So there's a reason why Facebook parties are my jam. I prefer writing out and I can think and take my time. So in 4 years of doing this, I have never, ever, ever gone live in a Facebook party. I know, it's shocking. That said, going live in a Facebook party can be a great way to do a party, okay? Like I said, my style is not going to work for everyone, but I do have some best business practices that are important and will transfer throughout your parties no matter what style you do. Now, with mine, so we talked about event, or a week long, about a one night. You can do parties in groups or events. You know, I personally have a strong preference for events, and I train my team for events because I think there are a lot of pros for events over groups. But there are some phenomenal leaders who have great success doing Facebook parties in groups. And, you know, it comes down to what I already said. Whatever style you do, you can be successful in if you just learn how to do it well. So this plays into hostess coaching. Hostess coaching really is only knowing the pitfalls ahead of time enough to communicate them to your hostess. So, you know, maybe a home party hostess coaching would be to say, always invite 30 people because typically only a third of the people you invite will get to come in person. So, you know, that's something you as a hostess or you as a consultant know. Tiffany, I don't do Facebook Lives at all. I do entirely post-based, which is out of the norm, I know, for a lot of consultants. And I'm not against Facebook Lives. I think Facebook Lives can be great for people doing. I can't do them for my team. So that totally lost my train of thought there with that. Hey, I need you to not distract me. Can you watch quietly?
Okay.
Thank you. Whether you're doing a live or post-based or in groups or events, you just need to understand how it's going to work well enough to tell your hostess what to expect and to walk her through anything that she needs to know on that. So I like events because they are more intuitive for people to follow along. I like events because they do an automatic reminder. They remind guests to RSVP. They remind guests, hey, the party's today. They remind guests, hey, the party's an hour. Hey, the party's starting now. So that's a backup reminder that I don't have to do. I also like it because it keeps things, careful, in order for how I post them. So again, I like events, but you could do them very well in groups. A lot of consultants do lives. You can do posts leading up to your party time and then do live demos and then close out with a few posts. That's a great way to do it. So there's really a lot of flexibility for how you want to do it and what you enjoy and what you feel comfortable with. Yes, you can take it out. So with that format, do you have any other questions on format before I move on to the next section? Anything? Tonight's party is going to be an event. It's going to be post-based. And yes, hostess coaching. So, hostess coaching is, well, really there's four crucial things to a successful party, okay, for Facebook. The first is hostess coaching. Okay, your hostess is your partner. I let my hostesses know, I know the products, I know how to do a party, I do the posts, but I can't get your friends there, okay? This is a partnership and I will walk you through how to do this, but you need to trust that I know how to have a successful party because I want you to have a successful party and I want this to be good for you and I want it to be good for your friends. Hostess coaching is crucial, okay? Personal, what's that C word? Contact, community, communication, connection with customers, also crucial, okay? Throughout your party, people they're going to like posts, they're going to comment, they're going to ask questions, they're going to post their own thing. You're going to have people who are Facebook savvy, you're going to have people who are Facebook struggle, you're going to have the range of it. The important thing is you connect with them. And I'm not talking about, being the cheerleader, the rah-rah, super, you don't have to be that. That's not me. That's okay. If that is you, that's okay. But don't feel like you have to be something you aren't to do this well. Just make it a point to connect, to respond. If they ask a question, obviously answer it. If they say something and it's just a statement, respond to it, Moran, did you ever have problems with hostesses not responding? So I will, well, I guess I can do that now. Not anymore. Not often ever. I'm trying to think if the last time I had a hostess not. I had somebody recently, but there was something big had just happened in their family and she was like off the computer. And we ended up bumping it back a week and her party worked just fine. But that's the exception. I work hard to have connection with my hostesses and for it to be a good thing for them. And now, not anymore. I can remember a few times in the beginning where I had a hostess that, just ghosted me. And I wasn't sure, why you're not responding. It's so much better to just say, hey, can we just cancel the party because I'm not interested. The hosts who don't communicate that and they just ghost on you, that makes it really hard for us to run our businesses. I know. But with those four crucial things for your party, hostess coaching, connecting with your guests, adaptability, you guys. My parties can be very, I don't want to say formulaic, but yes, a little formulaic. I have my script. I change out key parts of the script every month, but the core of the script is the same, okay? But throughout the days leading up to the party, it is so important to keep your finger on the pulse of the party. Because, say, I want to know, okay, has my hostess RSVP'd? If she's not, okay, then I know I need to send a note checking in. Don't forget to RSVP so it shows you up as hostess so your friends aren't confused. Has she invited at least the minimum number of guests that I have been working with her for? If not, okay, that's a time to touch in with her. Oh, she's got all the guests invited and they're RSVP, but nobody's engaging. Okay, so let's troubleshoot with that. What can we do with that? Everybody's engaging and active and this was a great party, but nobody's ordering. Okay, let's work with that. So keeping your finger on the pulse of the party is really important because where you see that disconnect is going to help you understand what you need to do to make the party better. And adapting for that, being willing to throw in an extra post or send a note to your hostess that maybe you wouldn't normally do, but in this case you see the need to. You can be very structured, very organized, very simple, but just keep an eye on those things that are markers for a good party. Number of guests, engagement, sales. There's a reason why Norwex has party averages, and if you're not seeing that in yours, then it's time to ask yourself why and to seek out training to reach those averages and beyond. So those are just their benchmarks to see where we're at and to see what's possible and, you know, what's possible for us to reach for. And the fourth thing with that is an understanding as the consultant that most of your guests will not be with you for the whole party long. Most of your guests will not read every post, watch every TV, like every video, see every photo, okay? So working off that assumption, how does that change your party? For me, that changes a few things. So I have taken my core things. What are the pieces of information that they absolutely need to go home with tonight? And I say them a few different ways, a few different posts, you know, because I don't assume that every single person coming to the party understands how the party works or understands how the prizes work or has all the information that I would like them to know. So I find ways to reiterate things throughout my party and make sure that those important things are repeated in different ways. Maybe that's recruiting seeds, maybe that's something about about hosting, maybe that's something about you know, the Safe Haven 5. So my party is geared around the Safe Haven 5, and I talk about the Safe Haven 5 repeatedly. I don't just talk about the products, I talk about the products within the framework of the Safe Haven 5. And I mentioned the Safe Haven 5 in almost every post because I want that in their head, okay? And I want that so that if they've missed a few posts, they can still read one and be like, Safe Haven 5, what is that? So again, what are those important things that you want your people to walk away with that night, and how can you come back to them and work them in? With hostess coaching, so I'm going to be sharing my hostess coaching / bookings document tonight in here after the party. And what is really important about that is hostess coaching starts before you've ever got the booking set. Hostess coaching starts as your guests are checking out the party, okay? As you are doing the party, you are coaching your future hostesses. They are seeing what a successful party can look like. They are seeing what a Facebook party looks like. They are seeing how you interact. They're seeing what your role is in this. And they're seeing what the current hostess's role is in this. So what is happening right now is setting the framework, the base level foundation for your next parties. So what are you doing to ensure success in future parties right now? And that's as simple as working with your current hostess. I mean, I let my hostesses know one of the things that is very important. Maybe 5 to 10 minutes after we get started in our party, if it's a quiet party, I shoot her a message right then and say, hey, so it's a little quiet tonight, and I want to let you know that's okay. Sometimes parties are quiet. The key thing is that you are commenting on every single post just like you're doing, because that's what's going to engage Facebook's algorithms and help your friends see it when they do hop online later. So, you know, encouraging her, first of all, she's not a loser because it's a quiet party. You know, a lot of times people don't like hosting parties because they feel shame or guilt that it's not better. It's not their job for it to be better. Their job is to listen to what you tell them to do, okay? And their job is to invite people. That's it. So I want to let them know you're not a loser because you have, you know, 1 person, 2 people, 3 people on. Like, just keep commenting like you are. This is what you can do, and we'll work from here to make this still be a successful party. Don't give up on a party until you've closed the party out. You may have a party that is super quiet. You only have the hostess on and you're like, well, crap, should I even still post? Is this a waste of my time? Yes, absolutely post. Never stop posting. You know, do your party, keep going, have your hostess comment on each one. No problem. There are so many things you can do after a party to build participation, to build engagement, to get interest, to book parties from that, to recruit people. So you do not know where a party can take you just because you only have 1 person on, no guests on. Do it anyway. That's the nice thing about a Facebook party is people can come back and check it out afterwards. Sometimes people are on and they're not engaging. You never know. So that all ties back into hostess coaching. With hostess coaching, I think this is a crucial part of the success of my parties. I can't credit my parties to one thing I do, and if you do this magic tip, you're gonna have amazing parties, no big deal. it's a combination of the hostess coaching, of engagement with guests, of adapting to where, where I see the party is at with where I want it to go, and of not giving up until we've closed out the party. Even the day after you have no sales, there are so many things you can do to work to get those sales up. Like, you can still have a fantastic party if you're willing to work for those sales. So, with hostess coaching, okay, you may have seen some of this already in the event. I'm, as well as doing the regular posts, I'm also doing my hostess coaching. Here's what I say to the hostess here. Here's what I do here. One of the most important things I do as a consultant to set my hostess up for success, okay, is I reach out to my hostess and let her know I will be setting her party up shortly, okay, and adding her to it as hostess. In the meantime, I need her to send a note to 15 friends, letting them know about her party, okay? Telling them why she thinks they would be interested. They love to clean, they hate to clean, they have little kids, they travel, they have a lot of allergies, they have a low budget, they have a high budget, they have a house cleaner, they do it themselves, whatever. Saying why she thinks they would be interested and asking, would you like an invitation to check it out? Okay, to 15 people. And I include a note saying, you can feel free to send this note, like to tweak it and send it out, or send something completely your own. When you've let me know that you have messaged those 15 people to ask them if they would like an invitation, let me know, and I will include an extra prize, an extra product with your hostess rewards. Okay? I know some consultants do a prize when 15 guests have RSVP'd yes to a party, but I don't think that's not a real buy-in, okay? That looks nice, and maybe they get notifications, although they could actually turn notifications off, but it's not a real buy-in of 15 people who necessarily genuinely want to be there. I would far rather have 10 yes, add me to this, 10 guests who are there, maybe who haven't necessarily RSVP'd, but who have said yes and been added to this event, than to have the hostess, add 30 friends of hers and then do a prize for 15 who have RSVP'd yes. So the key thing there is I don't add my hostess to the party until I've gotten confirmation that she's read that note. Because think about it, when you set up a party and you add your hostess to the party and then you send her a note and say, don't invite more than 30, like we want 15 to 30 people. Well, you know what? When she gets on Facebook, the first thing she's going to see is that you added her to the event. So what she's going to do, she's going to add all her friends too. And you're going to come on and be like, 300 people, no! So, I'll send her the note and let her know, give her the verbiage to equip her to comfortably invite her friends. I wait for her confirmation. Sometimes that's just like, got it. Sometimes that's working on those 15 now. Sometimes they write back and say, I've already sent 17 messages. Like, that confirmation may look differently. But when I feel comfortable that they've read my note, then I set the party up. Then I add them to it. Then I send them a follow-up note saying, all right, your party's set up and you're in. You sent those notes to those 15. Our goal is 15 to 30 guests. It can be on either side of that, but no more than 30. 30 is a hard limit. No more guests. If you have more than 30 who want to come, we'll do a second party. No more than 30. And the reason for that is it's a couple things. One, Facebook's jail algorithm kicks in at 40 guests. If you are messaging 40 guests, then you are likely to be kicked into jail. Is that the right phrase? Tucked into jail? Something like that. And so 30 is just keeps you under that threshold. People are also more likely to pay attention to the invitation when they see that they are one of 30 who are invited, rather than more than that. Because more than that, they look around and be like, well, clearly she's just looking for the numbers. She doesn't really think me in particular is going to make the difference to this. But when you're one of 30, and you see this person has 1,000 Facebook friends, 2,000 Facebook friends, 800, she really meant what she said about specifically inviting you. Because if she wanted numbers, she would have invited more people. Haley, what value product do you add on? It totally depends. In February, I kind of went big, and my gift for my hostesses who followed my hostess coaching was a shampoo. okay? Because it came out that month, and that has generated a number of sales since then because the hostesses were raving about the shampoo after that at their friends' parties that were booked off of theirs. I usually do like a month where I do all the same things. A lot of times I like doing a disposable, is that not the right word? A consumable or a new product, because I want to get those products in people's hands, and I want them to be able to give reviews in my VIP group. But it really depends, and sometimes it depends on, in different seasons, what my budget is. I don't know if you hostess. Yes. So, I don't add my hostesses to the party until I have confirmation that they understand they need to personally invite 15. And I'm not saying they need to send a message to 15 and then add them to the event. They need those 15, or however many, to say yes before they are invited to the event. Because we only want people there who want to be there. So that is setting your hostess up for success from the beginning. And that's going to make a big difference, because then those people that you have in the party, they are aware that they have agreed to be there. So there's not the same level of resentment if you've been invited to another party and you're getting tagged by the consultant and tagged by the hostess and getting stuff in your newsfeed, and you're like, why? This is more of a buy-in, and it makes sure that the people who are there genuinely want to be there. So, with hostess coaching, I send a reminder the day of and give her verbiage for checking in with her friends to remind them that morning. I already posted that in the demo event for tonight. And then maybe 2 to 3 hours before the party, I make a post in the party, and I use an eye-catching before and after photo. And I tag every single person who has been invited to the party, whether they've RSVP'd or not, okay? And I just say, here, there's 4 ways to win a prize tonight. Here's the ways, here's the information, who's going to be online tonight. And that's usually where about 1/3 of my RSVPs come from. After that post, about 1/3 more people will RSVP to the event. So that eye-catching graphic is important. That tag, I'm not tagging people every day. I'm not tagging people every other day. Like, there's maybe 2 posts total, but usually just that one where I am tagging everybody before the party. So it's just a backup to connect with the guests. Now, half an hour before the party, I have my hostess message guest a reminder. But then you know what I do 10 minutes before the party? I message all the guests a reminder. Okay, and this is without being connected on Facebook. Some of them are going to see it, some of them aren't. But I just say, hey, so-and-so, Lindsay's Norwex party is getting started in a few minutes, and there are 4 ways to win a free cloth or win a prize. And I go through that, and I say, I hope to see you online. And a lot of times, somebody will accept that message request, and maybe they'll send back a thumbs up or a got it or something like that. But it just opens the communication doors. And it's not me reaching out and asking them for something. It's not saying, hey, are you going to spend money? It's just saying, here's the information. Do with it what you'd like. And opening those doors. So again, I see people who come specifically because of that reminder message. Because it's so easy to forget a Facebook party. It's so easy. Sue, you can schedule posts in a group if you choose to do your party that way. You cannot schedule posts in an event, and that's how I do my parties. Any other questions on any of what I just said there, guys? Prizes. I mentioned that I do 4 prizes. I think prizes are really, really, really important here. In a home party, I do minimal prizes. In a Facebook party, I always offer those 4. So the first one is my participation prize. And this is because if I can get someone to participate in my party, they're a customer or a hostess or a recruit. That's the hard part, is just getting them to check out the information. But Norwex is so good. It speaks for itself. It sells itself. If you can get people to pay attention, the products do the rest. So the participation prize is it's just for participation. And Normally by the end of a party, I have a really good idea of who has participated the most. But if I'm not sure, then I go through the top people that I'm not sure about, and I actually tally up their points. And I count 1 point when they like one of my posts or react to it, 2 points when they comment on it, and so maybe they comment on my same post 5 times. I only count that they commented on it, so that's 2 points. And then they get 3 points when they create their own post and ask a question or share something in the party. And the participation prize is a kitchen cloth, and I do not tally that up until the end of the next day. Because I want to give people a reason. People who could not be on during the party time, maybe they say, oh, I've got church tonight, but I'll check it out later. Well, later happens, and it's very easy for them to be like, oh, probably did great. I don't really feel like I'm missing anything. I'm not going to bother with it and take time with it. And what I want them to do is to get home and be like, I want them to have a reason to check it out. I want them to say, oh, I could still win a free cloth if I just go through and read and comment. So I let people know comments count for more than likes, but I don't give them my breakdown of points. They don't need to know that. I let them know comments count for more than likes, and they can win a free cloth by participating in the party. And I won't tally points up and announce a winner until the day after the party. And that gives people a chance who weren't on the party. It gives them a reason to go back through and read and comment. And it gives them a chance to possibly be the winner. And you know what? Usually the winner of the cloth is someone who was not on during the party time, but took the time to come back through and read and comment and like. So that's a kitchen cloth. They get to choose their color, and that's another reason why I like doing it, is because there's so many beautiful colors, and people love seeing the choices and picking their own. The second one I do is specifically for people who are online during the party time, okay? Because I want to do something for them. They're taking time out of their day to be on this party and check it all out, and I want to get back and thank them and have something for them. So it's my drawing prize, and I do it at the end of the evening. And what it is, let me back up. With a participation prize, speaking to what I said earlier about assuming not everyone is going to read every post, I mentioned the participation prize multiple times through the party, and people still miss it. So what I do is every post says, prize post, and there's a question there before I do my actual post, before I share a video, before I share a photo, whatever the case is. It says, prize post in capital letters, and I have a question. What that does is it interests someone right away in seeing, oh, prize, oh, cool, and they read, okay? It also, the question, they can only answer it. I choose specific questions. I call them concept checking questions, CCQs. They can only answer the CCQ if they have engaged with the post, if they've watched the video, if they've read the post, if whatever. And that gets them engaged in the post. It lets me know that they read the post or watched the video, and it gives me an idea if they understand what they're talking about. So if I say, on my window cloth post, maybe I ask, tell me to recap how you use the EnviroCloth and window cloth to clean your windows. And somebody says, use a wet window cloth to wipe everything down. I can be like, well, you didn't actually read the post or watch the video, because this is how you do it. But it just gives me an idea of what they're taking away from my party, so I can correct any of that information as needed. Haley, so do you tell the hostess that you will add her to when she lets you know? Yes, Haley. Yep. So those CCQs, those are part of my participation prize, and the prize posts, again, that's getting people's attention who maybe didn't know about the participation prize. Technically, every post is an opportunity to be entered in for the prize. But the prize post kind of draws that out for someone who's just skimming. So my second prize is the drawing prize, and I do that at the very end of the party, and I post it, and it says, tell me 3 things you learned from 3 different posts tonight. Again, I want to get them reading back through everything, checking out the information, looking at different posts. I want to know, what are their takeaways? What are they saying? If someone says, oh my goodness, the micro silver kills all the germs on my table, well, that's a great chance for me to say, well, actually, it's the microfiber that is the heavy-duty cleaner. The micro silver is purely for the inside of the cloth, you know, etc. So I know where they're at, what information they're taking away, and what I need to explain better for them. No, leave that here. Leave that here, please. You can sit right here, but don't take it away, please. And then I have a bonus option. So they have to say three things they learned from 3 different posts, and then a bonus entry, ask me 1 question about my job. And I leave this post up for 15 minutes. They have 15 minutes for 2 or more guests to answer it, and then I'll draw a name or I take it down. Okay, so this is limited only for those people who are online during the party as a thank you for them and something fun for them to do. And the drawing prize, no thank you. I need you to do that right there, thank you. The drawing prize is whatever I feel like. I have fun with it. Sometimes it's the dishcloth, sometimes it's the lint mint. Maybe if I'm feeling super generous and this is already shaping up to be a phenomenal party, I might do something bigger. Maybe I do something that I saw this person really wants that's out of the norm. You know, I have fun with it. It's a surprise cloth and I just go with it. Third prize is I do a bonus cloth for the first person to order the Safe Haven 5. It creates that urgency. It gets people interested. It gets those orders in quicker. It gives people that push to jump on their orders. And usually with that, I send a set of the dishcloths. The last prize is if I have a guest who invites a guest. So if I have a guest who invites a friend and both the guest and the friend order and they let me know, I will send them both a free product as a thank you. That doesn't happen often and it is an added expense, but the times it has happened, it's been worth it, and it's opened up a completely different string of orders from someone outside of whom I would have met through the hostess already. So 4 prize options. The participation prize is every single party. Okay, sometimes the drawing prize I do, sometimes I don't. If I don't get those 2 guest answers in 15 minutes, then I don't do that. If I don't have a guest who invites a friend and they both order, I don't do that one. And with the Safe Haven 5, usually I get 2 or 3 orders of that evening, but occasionally I'll have a party where nobody got a Safe Haven 5, so I don't give away that prize. Any questions on that? A whole set of dishcloths? Yes. So when I first started as a consultant, I sent prizes from my inventory because, you know, you guys know Norway sends a lot of free stuff and I was getting rid of stuff and that was cheaper. Truthfully, sending prizes are a weak point for me. That's just not my strong point in this business, and it's a lot easier for me to keep track of if I do it from the party itself instead of from my inventory and mailing it out. So I don't parcel out a makeup cloth set into, you know, 3 different prizes or anything like that. I send the full set. So a whole set of dishcloths, right, dishcloths, not kitchen. If I'm sending, you know, Speary sponges, I'm sending it from Norwex, so they're going to get the full 2 Speary sponges. Any other questions on that? So bookings are going to tie back in. I talk about bookings throughout my party. Why would you want to do a party? How easy it is, you know, what free stuff you get, things like that. And then that hostess coaching / bookings document I said I would post and share in the group tonight, that is crucial because I cannot state how important it is that you ask everyone. Okay, the document walks you through, okay, if somebody orders online, here's the message I send them. If somebody messages me to put the order in for them, here's the message I send them. If somebody responds and says they just can't order, here's the message I send them. And in every single case, guess what? I ask if they want to host a party. On average, I walk away with 2 to 3 bookings from every single party. Okay, my calendar stays booked a good 3 months solid in advance. If your party is simple and fun and informative and people can see that it's not a lot of work for them, if you ask, they're going to want to host. Now, the thing about booking seeds, anything like that, they're basically, you are answering people's objections before they have the chance to voice them. You're giving them the information they need to make the decision for themselves. So as you're talking about parties throughout your party, as you're talking about what it's like to host or why you would host or what you get for hosting, anything like that, you're giving them the information they need to make the decision for themselves. Most people, if they're going to say no, in most cases, it's because they're operating off of inaccurate information. They think it's going to take too much work. They think it's going to be too hard. They think they have to be more tech savvy. They think they're not going to get much for it. Anything like that. So you're giving them the information in little posts here and there to say, oh, nope, that's not the case. Nope, not that either. No, not this. Here's the information.
Mom, how do you erase this?
You gotta shake it. Shake, 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 shake. We're doing Etch-a-Sketch over here. Miranda, I'm sorry to use shopping sprees. Yeah, I do not use shopping sprees, okay? I send my prizes out with the party. So if the person orders online, I just attach it as a customer order with their prize. If they have me put their order in for them, I include the prize with their order, okay? That increases the sub-A, it adds to the hostess's party, and it makes sure I include it and I get it done and it doesn't fall through the cracks. So it really depends on what your priorities are. For me, that saves time and hassle. It may be a little more expensive than sending something from my inventory, but on so many points, it just makes it much, much better for me. Does that answer your question? On ordering, I let my guests know there are two ways to do it. They can order online, or they can message me their order and I'll put it in where their hostess is. For party shipping, it'll ship with hers for a flat $5.95 per order, which is awesome because you can't even ship through the post office for that cheap in most cases.
Mommy,
what, buddy?
How do you put it down?
You gotta turn the knob to go down, see? So a lot of consultants will, they only offer direct shipping online. That might make it easier for you, but truthfully, some of the best conversations come when someone messages me their order and I'm helping them and I put the order in for them. It is more of my time, but typically there's a better relationship there going forward because we've had that personal connection and time to chat. Other consultants will do a Google form where people can request their order that way. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I personally think mine is best because that's what I do and that's what I like. But the reality is you could do it a variety of different ways. So I like offering the direct ship line option by ordering online, or the option of party shipping if they message me what they would like. I do not like it when the hostess collects the orders and messages me what, because that cuts out that conversation time with a customer. And when I am putting their order in, like when they've told me what they want to know, I'll say, I'll go put that in for you and get you your total. While I'm doing that, are you interested in hosting a party? It benefits Claire, and it's a great way to get Norwex for free, as most of my hostesses walk away with $200 to $400 in free product. I set up the party and do all the posts. You invite friends and participate. Are you interested? I've got a few free nights in August if you are. And saying that, giving them that information, and then walking away to go put their order in, it just kind of backs the heat up a little bit. So they know I'm not sitting there waiting like, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Like, it's like, I'll go get this for you, get you your total, get you your information. While I do that, think about that. And just that connection. Ask everyone if they want to host. All right, any questions, you guys? I'm looking through to make sure I've touched on my key points here. Any questions? You can always ask questions and tag me in them, and tonight I think will help with questions as well, but I know sometimes it's helpful just to be able to ask them when you can get a vocal response. If not, so your Facebook hosts still pass out their orders. Yes. If they live near guests have the option to ship their orders for party shipping, and the hostess will distribute orders. Recruiting. Okay, sure. So the first thing first, well, recruiting is going to be different for Facebook parties than it is for home parties. But first thing first, always talk to your hostess. Always, always, always. Your hostess is halfway there. She's already invested in the products enough to say she wants to host a party, to say she wants to share it with her friends. She's already in training right now on what a party looks like and what the hostess's role is. And she's learning what is a consultant's role. Always talk to your hostess. I let my hostesses know the day of the party, actually, I check in and say, here's this month's hostess rewards, just so you know, here's how it works. And I say, I wanted to let you know, kids just got home. I want to let you know different ways that we can do this. First, we can do this as planned, and you get hostess rewards, I get consultant rewards, we're good. Second, you can decide to sign up, and you do the party tonight. You get hostess rewards, you get consultant rewards. You get any bookings off of this. You get to launch a new business for $9.99 shipping and handling. Third, I'll do third so it doesn't look like I'm flipping you off there, sorry. The third option is, I do the party tonight. You decide after the party, but before we close out, that you would like to sign up and become a consultant. In that case, I will get you to the highest hostess reward level for your party and keep the first booking. And we'll put the rest under you as a consultant. What that looks like is, for instance, say we have a $450 party with 2 bookings, okay? I will put the $350 and 1 booking in as your party under me as a consultant. And then, so long as they're not online orders, we'll put the remaining $100 order so in under you as the consultant, and you get to do that second booking. If we have a $900 party with 1 booking, then I'll put $750 and 1 booking in for your party with me, and we'll put that extra $200 under you as the consultant to get you started. So I let them know this is how it could work. And a lot of times someone will say, thanks for letting me know. I think I'd like for you to do the party still. Or occasionally somebody will say, yeah, I've been thinking about this. Let me talk to my husband, or let me get some questions together, or let me talk to you about this and see, about signing up. So those are those 3 options for them, and I want them to know, hey, no, don't get into that, please. Not right now. But the girls are home if you want to go see them. Miranda, how do they do the party themselves? Option 1. Option 1 was I do the party as normal. I do the party, they're the host. Option 2, they do the party. That's, I very rarely, I think I've only a handful of times had someone do this for a Facebook party where they sign up before the party and they do everything. They do the party, they use my script, they do the party, they get the orders, and I help them with that, but they do the work, they get the rewards for it. Okay, does that answer your question? I would delete it out of my back office, and they would sign up as a consultant, open it, and this would be one of their launch parties. Recruiting, I also talk about the opportunity through my throughout my script, and then I have recruiting seeds like the drawing prize. I say, the extra raffle entry, they have to ask me a question about my job. Cannot be product related, guys. No product questions. And I have a recruiting post where I lay it out. Nope, leave it there. Not right now. Where I lay it out. The 2,090 days, the $9.99 shipping and handling, and just let them know. I do not ask every person if they want the opportunity when I'm doing a Facebook party. I do ask them about hosting, but I specifically reach out to those who are showing interest, or I have my eye on a couple through the party that then I follow up with, and when we're doing their order, I'll ask, have you ever thought about doing something like this? And we just go from there. So it's more intentional, it's more narrow, it's not just a blanket asking for everybody. You can't reach that without knocking all that stuff off right now, buddy.
I won't.
Any other questions? No, don't get it. Don't climb.
Mom, touch you eat it?
Any questions before we wrap up?
Mommy, touch you eat it?
Not yet. You need to wait.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to scroll back through and make sure I'm not missing any questions here. Okay, I think I've got all questions so far asked. If you guys are good, make sure you RSVP for the event tonight, and feel free to hop on as pretend guests. It's a lot more fun having interaction with the parties than it is just posting by myself. So hop on, engage, check out the posts in real time, ask consultant questions as they come up. Thank you, Sue. He is very cute and very much of a handful, and I'm thankful you guys have not minded him popping in and out here as I've been talking. My older girls just got home, and I think we're going to go watch the Canadian team play my home country team of Slovakia and the championship series of ice hockey happening in Europe right now. So I will post homework for this, and tonight I'm going to post some resources for you guys to check out. And as always, I'm really happy to answer questions and anything that occurs to you as we're going. There's going to be a lot of information at the party tonight for you as consultants and for, anyone participating there. So, all right, have a great rest of your afternoon, and I will see you guys tonight.